Hello to my amazing Franklin Academy kindergarten artist. Welcome to Art with Miss P for this week. This week's lesson is going to be a super fun lesson. We're going to draw a house at night, but we're going to make it spooky. So we're going to do some really fun details to make your house look like a spooky house at night. So here's an example of what we're going to do. We're going to draw a real simple house using some squares and rectangles and circles and semicircles, which are those half circles, a big giant moon. And then we're going to color it to make it look like nighttime. So we'll talk about how to make a nighttime sky in the lesson and how to color your windows so they look like it's nighttime. But then I thought with Halloween coming up, it would be kind of fun to make it look a little spooky. So we're going to add some really fun details in here to make it look spooky and then make your house look kind of old, like a spooky old house with some cracks and some broken windows. So here's what you need for this project. You're going to need your white paper, your pencil, your eraser, and a box of crayons. So grab those items, friends. Meet me over in my studio and we will get ready for our spooky house. Hello, friends, and welcome to Art with Miss P. This week's lesson is a fun, spooky house. So we're going to draw a house using basic geometric shapes like rectangles, triangles, circles, half circles, squares, and other organic shapes and bump lines to add the other elements in. Then we're going to use our crayons to color our picture so it looks like a nighttime scene. We're going to add in some really fun details to make our house look spooky. So let's get your paper. You need a white piece of paper like this, your pencil, your eraser, and your crayons. And let's get started on our spooky house. All right, we're going to turn our paper vertical. That's the tall way, so we have plenty of room for our house and our background. Right in the middle of your paper, right here, we're going to draw a long, skinny rectangle. Now, the fun thing about this, guys, is this doesn't have to be perfect. Look at my house. It is not perfectly straight. My windows, my doors, everything's a little crooked. Even my chimney is crooked up here because we're going to make this house look old and creepy. And to do that, we're not going to have things perfectly straight. So don't worry about drawing a perfect rectangle or a perfect triangle or perfect circles. We're not looking for perfect. All right, so right here in the middle of your paper, look where my fingers are. We're going to draw a long, skinny rectangle right there. Now remember, we're not trying to draw it perfect. Just get a long, skinny rectangle right there. Then underneath our rectangle, we're going to draw two slightly diagonal lines that come down and get connected right there by a horizontal line. So we've got a shape that looks like this right here. This is going to be our house. So now we're going to put a roof on our house right here. So just above here, we're going to come up and draw a straight line. Now my line here is not as long as the line is here because we're going to connect this right here to make a roof. And I'm going to give you two choices. If you can curve your line a little bit from this point to this point like this, so watch closely, from here to here, if you can curve it in a little bit like that, and then do the same thing like this, curve it in a little bit like that, that would be cool. That gives it just a nice curved roof line. If that's too much for you, then just draw a straight line from here to here. So your lines right here can be slightly curved like these, or they can be straight. The choice is yours. All right, this is the basic outline of our house. So now we're going to add a couple of windows and doors and elements in. Right up here, we're going to put what's called a dormer. And we're going to make a triangle. So two vertical lines like this right here. Two diagonal lines like this right here. And a horizontal line. Now where our triangle overlaps our roof right here, we need to erase because we can't see that part of the roof through our triangle. So now we've got the outline of a dormer right here. Then we're going to come down here and we're going to draw a line going across the bottom of our house like that right there. This is going to be our porch. So our door is going to sit right here. And I'm going to draw a rectangle. And look how crooked my rectangle is. I didn't make it straight. Now, if you want to make yours straight, you can. But I made mine a little crooked because remember, we're drawing a spooky house, so we want it to look old. Then I'm going to come over here and I'm going to draw 2 rectangles. Don't have to be perfect because we're drawing a spooky house. So our windows might not be straight, be a little crooked. And then I'm going to put a half circle right here, which is a horizontal line with some people call them rainbows, an arc, a curve. It's a half circle right there. And then I'm going to put a little rectangle right there to kind of give it a frame. So this will be a window, this will be a window, and then this will be our door. All right, now we're going to put a chimney on. You can put your chimney over here. You can put your chimney over here. It is your choice. So I'm just going to put my chimney right here, and I'm going to draw a rectangle. Does not have to be straight, because remember, spooky house, it's old. And where my chimney crosses my roof line, I'm going to erase inside right there because I can't see it. And then I'm going to give my chimney a little hat with a little side rectangle like that. So now we've got a chimney. All right, up here in our sky, you can decide where you want to put your moon. In this picture, I put my moon right here, and I did it coming out of the corner of my paper. So you can do a big full moon right here. All you would have to do is just draw part of a circle like that right there and let the rest of it run off the page. Or if you wanted to do a crescent moon, you could do a crescent moon. A crescent moon would be a moon. Let me see if I can find my scrap piece of paper. A crescent moon would be shaped like this right here. It would be like the letter C, and then you would come in. You could even do a skinnier crescent moon by starting off with the letter C, and then just bringing that line in more like that. Or you could do a full moon. Whatever, the choice is yours. Draw whatever kind of moon you want to draw in the sky. All right, so I did my full moon up here. So now let's go and start adding in a few little details. We need to make our yard. To make our yard, we're going to come off the corners of our house right here. And I'm going to draw a diagonal line from the corner all the way off the page. And I'm going to do the same thing over here from this corner all the way off the page like that. Now we have a yard, so we know all this right here would be green. All right, we've got to put some steps up to our house. So if you walk up our yard and you got to get to the door, so we need some steps. So we're going to draw a rectangle right here. There's my rectangle. And then from my door to the corner of my rectangle, right here where my door meets that corner of the house, draw a line. And from this corner of the door, where it meets the bottom of the house, draw a line to that step. Now we have a step. And then you can come right down here and draw another rectangle right under that. So now we've got a step, and then we step up and we're on our porch. To draw our walkway, from the corner of this step right here, draw a line coming off down to the bottom of your paper. And the same thing right here. We're going to draw it off to the bottom of our paper. So now we have a yard, and now we have a walkway. All right, going back up here to our dormer, let's put a triangle inside this triangle to give it a frame. And then we're going to draw a circle, and we're going to make this a window like that right there. So if you were upstairs in the attic, you could look out that window. Here, we're going to make this a window too. I'm going to put a vertical line right there, and a diagonal line right there, and a diagonal line right there. So we're working on some of those details, some of our basic details. These windows, we're going to draw a vertical line, and then 2 or 3 lines going across like that. Depends on how big your window is. I can get 3 lines in my window. You might only be able to get 2. Depends on how big you draw them. We need a window on our door. Now this window can be square, it can be round, it can be a half circle, it can be whatever shape you want. You don't even have to put a window on your door. Totally up to you. And then my door handle right there so I can open and close my door. All right, a couple of more little details. Up here in our moon, I'm going to put some craters. Because when you look at the moon at night, you'll see some craters. These little lines like this right here. And a bat. Let's put a bat flying through our sky. We can put a bat up here in the sky or anywhere you want, or you can put a bat on top of your moon and it can be silhouetted against your moon. It's completely up to you. But here's how you draw a bat, and you can put it wherever you want to put it in your sky. There's the head of my bat, and there's my body. Bat have very pointed ears, so we're going to put some pointed ears right there. And then we're going to have two wings that come out like this. And then draw a zigzag line all the way back to the bat's body. And then we're going to give him some little feet. You can give him two eyes and a mouth with some fangs. And you will color your bat black, very much like I did this one right here. Because in the sky, they look very dark because they're black against a dark night sky. So they'll just be black. All right, our chimney is made of bricks. You don't have to cover your entire chimney with bricks. You can put a few little rectangles right here to give the illusion of that's made of bricks. We have roof tiles on our roof, but we don't have to draw all the tiles. You can just put a few little lines like this right here, and it gives the illusion that there's roof tiles on the roof. Down here, we're going to put some bump lines like this. And you can make some big, skinny, tall, short. These are going to be like bushes, the tops of bushes. And you might have another bush that goes across like this, and maybe one that comes across right here and meets. So we're going to draw a couple of bump lines right here for bushes. So it looks like we have a grouping of bushes right here. All right, coming down here, we're going to add some more details in. Maybe for your spooky house, you have a graveyard. You know, sometimes you see those at old spooky houses. To draw a tombstone, you're going to draw a half oval that ends in a horizontal line right there. And then you can draw a little side to it like that. And maybe we have another one right here. So I'm going to draw my horizontal line, my half oval, give it a little side like that. And those are your gravestones. You can write R.I.P. on it, or you can write here lies, who lies here? Here lies, I'll just put here lies me. You can put whatever you want on your gravestone. You don't even have to put anything on it. It's your choice. All right, so now let's start getting into some more minute details, the smaller details that really add some interesting things to the picture. Back here in our sky, let's do some stars. Now, we're not going to waste our time trying to draw stars. That would be too much for you and too much for you to color. So we want to work smarter, not harder. So I'm going to draw little circles. Now, look how far apart I am spreading my circles. They are not close together, and they are not touching. Some friends will say, well, they look like snowflakes. Well, if we were drawing a wintry picture with snow, they would be snowflakes, but they can also be stars. So we're going to let these circles be stars. And when we go to color, you can leave your stars white or you can color them yellow. But these are going to be our stars, and we're just going to sprinkle a few back there. So don't do too many. We don't want to create too much work for ourselves. Coming down to our house right here, let's have a broken window. Maybe part of this window right here is broken. To do a broken window, you would just do a zigzag line like that, and then erase everything inside that shape, because the window has now been broken out. So it's a big hole in that window. So we need for it to look like a hole. If you want to put shutters on your house, that's totally up to you. Shutters are these little rectangles. Now I've got to erase right here where it covers my house, that go on the side of your windows. Maybe your house at home has a shutter. I don't know. I'm going to make this shutter over here look like it's about to fall off my house. It's barely hanging on right here. So I'm going to put a shutter right there. You do not have to put these shutters on. So if you don't want to put shutters on your house, you don't have to. And then I'm going to have a shutter right here that's hanging all crooked. So there's a couple of shutters. Like I said, you don't have to add those if you don't want to. Let's put a ghost right here in this window. So I'm going to draw a ghost. And give him 2 eyes right there. So there's a ghost floating through that window. And I'm going to have a broken window right here on that. And maybe up here, let's have, oh, I know, let's do 2 eyes, 2 very spooky eyes looking out right here. Let me draw this one a little bit bigger. So when you walk up to this spooky house, there's 2 eyes looking out at you right here from this window. So that would kind of be an interesting little spooky thing to see. I'm not happy with that eye, so let's get this one straight. Okay, there we go. So there's our eyes. Maybe down here, looking out from underneath the house, are 2 eyes. And underneath the porch are 2 eyes looking out. And even over here in our bushes, we've got 2 eyes that are looking out. We're not sure who these eyes are, but they're looking out. Maybe we got a spider web. Spooky houses have a spider web. So let's draw a spider web right here in the corner. So I'm going to come right here and I'm going to draw a shape like this right here. And then I'm going to draw 2 lines like this. And then from these points, I'm going to come in and I'm going to draw a spider web. And my lines go all the way back to this corner right here. And if you want to put a spider on there, you can. You can have a spider that drops down like this one right here, comes down from the web, and you can draw a spider coming off of it. Your choice, or you could just have a spider web up there. It is completely your choice. We're going to put a few lines right here and then some cracks. So I got a crack in this door right here. I've got a crack going across this house because, you know, old houses aren't very sturdy, so they might have some cracks coming off of them because it's about to fall down. Down here in my sidewalk, oh, got another crack going across my sidewalk. I'm going to have a big chunk taken out right here. So I'm going to erase this line like this sidewalk right here is broken. And maybe it's broken over here too. So I'm going to erase that. So we got a broken sidewalk. Can put a crack right there. And maybe one going across the middle like that. Now let's get some weeds. Because old houses, the grass hasn't been cut. So we're going to have some tall weeds like this right here. We're going to have some weeds coming out of our, where our gravestones are. Maybe this one has a crack going across it. Put some weeds coming out. All right, so there's a couple of weeds for you. And let's look and see if there's any other details we want to add to make it look spooky. You could add a vine somewhere if you wanted to. Like I added a vine in this house right here. I just drew a line coming up with some leaves coming off of it. If you wanted to put a vine, you don't have to. Completely your choice. All right, I think I have enough details on mine to make my house look pretty spooky. So when you get ready to color, everything's done. You don't have anything else to do in pencil. You don't have anything else to erase. Here's the challenge you guys are going to have as kindergartners. We've got to make this look like a nighttime sky. So if you look at this piece that I colored, I used what's called a indigo in the background. Indigo is when you take purple and blue. Like if I were to take these 2 colors right here, purple and blue, and mix them together, I would get this color called indigo. In your crayon set, you might have a crayon that's actually called indigo. I'm using a crayon set with 96 crayons, so I have a ton of crayons. You might not have that many crayons, but here's my indigo right here. It'll say indigo on it. So I colored my background this nice indigo color so it looks like a nighttime sky. Couple of things. I don't want you to color your shapes and you start coming outside your lines and we lose your picture, meaning we can't see your objects anymore. So I want you to take your time, guys. I want you, if I'm going to color my sky, for example, I want you to outline where you're coloring. So I'm going to outline right there. I'm going to outline right there. I'm going to outline my moon, outline this star, outline this star, outline along my house, come down here, outline along my bushes. Now, I know that everything I just outlined, I need to color and stay within what I call my color fence. I'm going to outline right there. When I get to a blue line, I'm going to stop coloring. I don't want to color in my stars, so I'm going to color around these circles and color up to my blue line and then stop. So when I get to the blue line on my moon, I'm going to stop. And I'm going back and forth. I'm not spaghetti coloring like this right here. I don't want to see any spaghetti coloring like this. I want to see nice, neat coloring. Outline what you're coloring so you've got a nice color fence. Color up to that color fence, that color line, and then stop. And then keep coloring until you get to your next line. That way, you'll get your entire area colored, but what you need to leave white, like these white circles for our stars, will be left white. So I'm coloring right here real quick to show you how I colored around my circles up to my moon and up to my house right here. And then I stopped. So let's pretend for a minute that you've got your entire sky colored. And when it comes to switching colors, so this is going to be green right here because this is a bush. So I'm going to switch to my green crayon and I'm going to outline this area right here in green because I know that everything inside this green line is going to be green. So I'm going to color up to my color fence and then I'm going to stop. I'm going to keep my color inside the color fence. I'm not going to color outside my color fence because I don't want to lose my picture. I don't want my bushes to blend in with my house and blend in with my sky and then I can't see anything. I'm going to switch to another color green right here because if I did the same color, it would blend in. So I'm going to switch to this green crayon right here. I outlined and I'm coloring and you can see that this is a little bit more of a blue green. It's actually called a rainforest green. And it's a different color green so I can tell my two bushes apart. All right, when it comes to my house, for example, I'm going to do a red chimney. So I'm going to outline in red like this right here. And I'm going to color everything red right here. And this is a red that's actually called razzmatazz. It's kind of an interesting red. And then I'm going to color lightly right here around these bricks because I'm going to use the same crayon by pressing a little bit harder to get a darker red for those bricks. So I've got some contrast right there. So now you can see using the same crayon, I colored dark up here to match my bricks and light right there. So I got some contrast. All right, so I want you to take your time coloring. I want you to make sure that you're choosing colors that contrast each other. Like for example, in this picture, I did an orange house, so it would contrast my green and my indigo sky. To make your house look nighttime, you would color your windows yellow because if the lights are on, they're brightened up. I left my ghost white. I colored my door blue. I colored the same blue up here but lighter. I chose to do this orange because it would show up so nicely against my sky. I did different shades of green. I used some gray down here on my concrete and on my tombstones. I colored my steps brown and I colored my porch black and I have little eyes right there. And I think I'm going to take my yellow crayon and I'm going to color these eyes yellow just so they'll pop a little bit more. And maybe color this one over here yellow in the bushes too so they kind of look like they're glowing at night. I colored my back black, my moon yellow, and different shades of green down here in my grasses. So take your time coloring. I want to see nice, neat coloring. I want to see good contrast. I don't want you to lose your house. If you have broken windows, you will color them black so that it looks like a dark hole. And I look forward to seeing your spooky houses, friends. So have fun with this spooky house project.